What is up everyone, Mark here. Welcome back to my channel, welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to be giving my final top 10 for Eurovision 2024 before the show. And keep in mind, I have now seen the rehearsals, so that will be an element in my rankings. With that said, let's begin with my number 10 spot, which is San Marino. This is Megara with the song 1111, and one of my absolute favorites this year. Now, I know this is not in a lot of other people's top 10s, but I am a huge fan of rock music, and Megara is giving us just that. And there really is not that much rock in any of these other songs, so because of that, Megara holds a very special place in my heart, and that is why I just had to give San Marino a place in my top 10. I love this song. It is so catchy, so fun, and Megara is one of my favorite Spanish rock bands just in general. I've been a fan of Megara for over a year now. They were one of my favorites in Benidorm last year, so very happy to see them in Eurovision, and in San Marino, they were fantastic. And also in their rehearsal, they were fantastic. The staging looks really great, honestly. It is very much in tune with what I expected from Megara, and I love that it looks so crazy and dynamic. That's exactly what I wanted from this band, and I can't wait to see what they do with the Malmö stage, because we've only seen not the entire performance, we've seen snippets of it, so I really want to see how this comes together, because I think if the staging is done well, this can give San Marino its best result ever. And that is absolutely what San Marino deserves. And I also want to highlight my favorite part of this song, which is the dance break. The dance break is so fun, so interesting, so creepy almost, and I love everything about it. I hope they keep it for this performance. It seems like they will. And with that, I just have to give this song a 9 out of 10. One of my standout favorites this year, and one of the songs I am most excited to see live in Malmö. With that, let's move on to my number 9 spot, which is Latvia. This is Dawn's with the song Hollow. And I will say I'm not super impressed with the staging we have in the rehearsals. I hope they change it a little bit. I think Dawn's outfit is a bit bizarre, but I love this song a lot and I think it is incredibly underrated, and that's why I just have to give it a spot in my top 10. I really personally resonate with this song. It's about struggling to find authenticity in your life, struggling to not sell yourself out in life, and trying your best, and sometimes failing, to be who you truly are. And even though I'm not super thrilled about the staging I'm seeing in Malmö this year, especially not that giant circle in the background, I still love this song. Just wish they had kept things a bit simpler. I wish the lighting had been a bit darker. I feel like this song really lends itself to darker staging to drive home that idea of feeling isolated, feeling like there's no one to turn to. That's what I think this song needed. But again, it might look amazing in Malmö. We have not seen the full performance yet. I'm just going off the rehearsals, of course, but I hope there's some changes made here and there, because if so, the song can qualify. I want it to qualify. I hope it does. Do I think it will? I don't know, but I love Dawn's. I love the song. It really is just so moving, and Dawn's has one of the best voices, I think, in this competition. So for me, this song will get another 9 out of 10. Again, a personal favorite for me. And with that, let's move on to my number 8 spot, which is Portugal. This is Yolanda with the song Grito, and in Portuguese, grito means scream. That is actually a perfect title for this song. It is about Yolanda's struggles with mental health, and in my interpretation, is about that feeling where you just want to scream, but you can't. This song is really incredible. The song presents itself as very calm and peaceful, but there is a sense of rising tension throughout the song before we get to that giant crescendo, that, well, scream that Yolanda lets out towards the end of the song. This moment here. Now that moment is my favorite part of this song. It really is the icing on the cake on what is already an amazing song. I also love the rehearsals of this song. I like that Yolanda has kept the staging so simple. I like that she has a bit of a low ceiling with those boxes to make the song feel so much more intimate and personal. Everything here is just top notch for me, honestly, and I cannot wait to see what she gives us in the semifinals and in, hopefully, the grand final. Yolanda is one of my favorite artists of this year. I'm so moved by this song. I love the choreography as well, the way the dancers move around her, almost shadowing what is going on in her mind. And in a way, there is an element of almost performance art with this entry, which I really like. And I think a lot is actually told through visuals. You get a sense of what she's going for just by watching the performance, even without the music. And so for me, I have to give this entry a 9 out of 10 at least. Love this song a lot, and it's one that almost I considered making my winner this year, but of course there are 7 other entries that I love just a little bit more. So with that said, let's move on to my number 7 spot, which is Switzerland. Now this might be lower than some people are expecting, and I will explain why. I think Nemo is one of the absolute best vocalists of ESC 2024. They have incredible vocal range, and they can do anything. They can do pop, they can do rap, they can do opera. They can pull off so many types of music so effortlessly and so well, and they deserve a lot of credit for that. Nemo is also quite stylish. I actually kind of like all the outfits that they've been bringing to Eurovision. I think it makes Nemo stand out. I think it makes them a lot more unique to audiences around the world, and I think it's going to help this song be memorable to a lot of people. I'm not so sure if I like the outfit that they have in the rehearsals. I think it's a little bit too much like something I would see on Sesame Sesame Street, but I still like what they're going for, so credit where credit is due. But the reason why it is not that much higher on my list than here is because of the song itself. Now, while I do love the opera part, I'm a huge fan of opera if you didn't know, I think the song itself is a little bit, not bland necessarily, but just not my cup of tea, or at least not as interesting to me as the 6 entries I have above it. I like the song though. I think it's very catchy, a lot of fun to listen to. I think it blends the genres of rap, pop, and opera quite well, but I don't listen to it that often and I just don't click with it overall that much. A lot of the points here are for Nemo, who is, again, an amazing vocalist and will give us an amazing standout performance, and who I think has a lot of potential to win. At the time of recording, Nemo is still number 1 in the odds, but for me, this is just not a song that I want to see winning. But again, Nemo's amazing, and I'm very excited to see what they do in Malmö. So this song I will give a 9 out of 10, very close to a 9.5 out of 10, but a 9 out of 10 regardless. With that said, we will now move on to my top 6, beginning with the Netherlands. This is Joost Klein with the song Europapa, and as you might know, this is one of the most popular songs of this year. I know that Joost is a very popular artist in Germany, in Switzerland, in the Netherlands, of course, and he's also popular for good reason. He is clearly a very talented artist, and this song is very fun and exciting and unique. One of the biggest things I like about the song, and one thing I think is very important to talk about, is that the song is dedicated to Joost's parents, who passed away when he was very young. The song is specifically inspired by something his father had told him, which is that the world has no boundaries. And that is what the song is about. The song is about the world having no boundaries, about Joost going to all these different countries, exploring different cultures, eating different foods. I think Joost does a very good job at balancing the real message of this song, the deeper message of the song, with the funny and quirky sides of it. I am very excited to see what he does in Malmö because it seems that the staging is a little bit under wraps. He seems to be holding back in the rehearsals, which I think is good because I want there to be at least some element of surprise when he performs for the first time live in the semifinal. I want him to surprise us, and I want him to show us something we've never seen before, because from what he says, we are going to be seeing something that apparently we've never seen in Eurovision ever. And that intrigues me. I don't think I've seen that quite yet with the rehearsals, so again, it seems like he is saving that for the actual live show. So whatever that is, I am very excited and curious to see. I really like so much about this song as well. It's very catchy, it's very fun. I also love the rave part. I'm glad that Austria is not alone in giving us a rave this year, and I am just so excited to see how this is received in Malmö Arena with a full arena. Imagine how fun this is going to be. Everyone singing along, everyone going crazy when he does anything on stage. Like, I am just very excited to see how this will look in a crowd. We know he's already a good performer. We've seen a couple performances with a live audience, so I can only imagine what it will look like with a full house in Malmö. So for me, I'm going to give this song a 9.5 out of 10, one of the absolute standouts of this entire year, and one of the most popular songs for very good reason. If this wins, I would not be disappointed. Joost is amazing, and he would very much deserve it. With that said, let us move on to my top 5 of this entire year, beginning with Serbia. This is Teodora with the song Ramonda, and in my opinion is one of the most moving songs of this entire year. Teodora has an amazing voice. She has some incredible staging, both in, of course, the national final, but also in the rehearsals, and something about her voice with the instrumental and the simple staging, it really just takes me to another planet, another world. I love songs like that. I think a lot of my favorite songs in the past couple years have been songs that do exactly that. Like you think of Blanca Paloma's Ea Ea from last year, you think of Constructas and Corporatano from the year before, both my winners for those years, by the way. These are songs that have something magical to them. I love that about this song, and I also want to talk about the meaning behind the song as well. The song title and the lyrics are really about this flower called the Ramonda. Now, you might be asking, what is the Ramonda? Well, this is a flower that is very significant to Serbian culture. The Ramonda symbolizes Serbian victory in World War I, which was a very costly conflict for Serbia in particular. Serbia was the country that had the most casualties in proportion to its population of any country in Europe during this conflict, which is insane to think about and really explains why this flower is so important to Serbia and to its people. The flower is also worn during Armistice Day and other important national holidays, so it really has this over century-long legacy of being integral to the country's culture. So I think it is beautiful that Teodora is bringing us a song that is really unique to Serbia as a country, that feels like it could not come from any other country, and that is using this flower as a symbol for peace and justice and unity, and a song that questions the state of the world today. This song is very much open to interpretation, as Teodora herself has said, but for me, I believe this song really is referencing the state of the world today. There's a lyric where she asks, where have the lilac Ramondas run off to? And I interpret that to mean, what has the world come to? Where has peace gone? Where has justice gone? And where are we now? So I think that is a beautiful message. Whether or not that is actually what she intended, I'm not sure. But if that is what she intends, she conveys it beautifully through her voice, through this song, through the very simple staging. And last thing I'll mention before we move on, you don't even see the Ramonda until the very, very end, which I think is so poignant, so powerful, and also a beautiful visual. For for me, I will give this song nothing short of a 9.5 out of 10. Love it, I think it is incredible, and is one of Serbia's best entries to date. Moving on, we will move on to my top 4, beginning with Norway. This is Gata with the song Ulvaham, and in my opinion, one of the most unique songs of this entire year. For one thing, the song is sung all in Norwegian, which makes it unique already because we don't hear Norwegian that often in Eurovision, unfortunately, so I'm very happy we're getting it this year. Also, the song is based on a Norwegian folktale. I mean, how unique is that, right? We don't get that often either. Now, the lyrics I heard are going to be changed in some capacity because the original lyrics are almost directly pulled from that folktale, which is fine. I think regardless, it still is very unique to Norway and its culture. It will at least be inspired by the folktale. And I also love other aspects about this entry, like the staging. The staging here is so eye-catching, so dynamic. From what we've seen in the rehearsals, they are keeping the spinning disc, which I think is a very good idea because if you don't know, the Malmö Arena is designed this year to give viewers a 360 experience while watching Eurovision. And what better way to give viewers that 360 experience than having your lead singer spinning around on a giant disc? I think that is a great coincidence and makes the song perfect for this year in Eurovision. Everyone in all angles of the arena is going to get a good view of this song and of the singer, which I think is really important because it just gives an overall better live experience. And as someone who will be there live, that means a lot to me. I also think the song is just really fun and interesting to listen to. It sounds like no other song that we have this year at all, and we also have some amazing vocal moments from the lead singer. I also want to give a shout out to the band on stage. A lot of them are really cool looking and they seem very skilled, and I think they actually add a lot to this performance. I just like everything about this entry. I think it is very underrated for some reason. I don't see people ranking it that highly, and maybe that's because it is so unique, but for me, this is one of my absolute favorites this year. I will give this song a 9.5 out of 10. I think it is amazing, really exciting, and the rehearsals look great. I can only imagine what this will be like during the grand final, and also what it will be like watching live in Malmö. So with that, let us finally move on to my top 3, my favorite 3 songs of Eurovision 2024, beginning with Ukraine. This is Alyona and Jerry Heil with the song Teresa Maria. Now, if you've seen the rehearsals, you would know that this, in my opinion, is probably the most promising of all the rehearsals I've seen. My top 2 looked great in the rehearsals, but I think Ukraine really impressed me the most, just with the staging, with the concept behind it. I think it is really winner potential. I think Ukraine can win this year, and if they do, honestly, even though they won in 2022, I would not be disappointed. I have been a fan of this song for a while now. I also want to add, I've been a fan of Jerry Heil for over a year now. She was my winner for Vidbeer last year, and since then I've really been exploring a lot of her music, and she is right now one of my favorite Ukrainian artists, so I already love the song for Jerry Heil, but I also really like Alyona, and I think her rap in this song is fantastic. I know some people don't like it, but for me it works. I think it breaks up the more melancholy mood of this song and turns it into something fun. I think it would have been very easy to make just a very sad, melancholy song like a lot of other entries that we've gotten, for instance in Vidbeer, but instead we have Alyona to give us this moment of levity, this empowering rap verse that makes the song something so much more special than just another run-of-the-mill, sad person singing about sad things kind of song. I really love this entry for being so balanced in that way. That already gives the song so much credit, but I also want to add that they were amazing in Vidbeer as well. Even though Vidbeer had all these different tech problems, there was issues with the sound mixing, Jerry Heil had a broken earpiece, like all this sort of stuff that was going on, and they still were incredible. So I can only imagine what they are going to be like in the grand final live in Malmö with all the amazing sound equipment, the amazing technology, and of course the amazing special effects and LEDs and all that. This, I think, has the most potential to win, in my opinion, of this year, just because it is absolutely amazing. I mean, I loved it before, I love it now, and for me, this song will now get a 10 out of 10. I used to give this 9.5s, but seeing those rehearsals, I just have to give it a 10 out of 10. So with that, I will move on to a song I like a little bit more than this one, and that is Italy. Now, all my top 3, I think, deserve to win, so keep that in mind, but Angelina is an amazing artist with an amazing, very unique song. Her song has a bit of a Latin flair to it, which I think is unique, not only for Italy's entries, but also for Eurovision in general. Even Spain doesn't send songs like that often, so I really appreciate Angelina for bringing us something different and something like this. The song is also so memorable and so catchy. This is stuck in my head all the time, honestly, and I listen to it a lot. It is right now up there with Lithuania as one of my most streamed songs on Spotify of this entire competition. I also want to talk about the meaning behind the song. The song title, La Noia, translates to boredom, and this song is anything but boring. Now, it's called Boredom because the song is about embracing those boring moments in life and making the most out of life, even with those dull and uninspiring moments that we have all the time. So I love that about this song. I think the message is quite relatable, and I hope that it will translate through through the performance and through the staging. Now, I have said before seeing the rehearsals that Angelina needs no staging at all whatsoever. She just needs to be by herself doing her thing. And that I still agree with today, but of course I have seen the rehearsals. Currently, it seems like there will be dancers on stage with her, which is okay. I don't mind it. I hope that it elevates the song in some way. I just hope that it doesn't detract from her and her charisma, and I don't think it will, honestly. I have no doubt that she will be the shining star of this performance, and that is why this entry I just have to give a 10 out of 10. Even though I like the rehearsals, I think it looks really good and promising, I don't really care about the staging. I mean, I know for a fact Angelina will give us one of the most amazing, eye-catching, unforgettable performances of the night, and that is why I'm giving the song a 10 out of 10. If Italy wins this year, I would be very, very happy. So with that said, let us move on to my number 1 spot, the only song I like a little bit more than Italy's entry, which you might have guessed already, but that is Croatia. This is Baby Lasagna with the song Remtem Tagi. This should be no surprise to anyone who's been watching this channel for any amount of time. I love this song so much. I think it is so unique, so fun, so funny, and just an absolute standout this year. This is not the kind of song I usually like, but for me it works. Now, some things I actually like about the song itself. I like that there are some rock elements in it. The song has a really great beat. It's very catchy. It's very interesting to listen to, but the song itself is not the big reason why I like this entry. It really is Baby Lasagna. His charisma on stage, his stage presence, everything about his performance, and I think it really is his charisma that drives this entire thing. I think that's why this song works for a lot of people as well. If it wasn't for Baby Lasagna himself, this just wouldn't work. I also want to mention the lyrics of the song, because the song is about young people in the countryside leaving home for the cities and for more opportunities. And that is something we've been seeing all over Europe, but it's happening a lot now, especially in Croatia. So the song really feels relevant to today. And I know that Baby Lasagna, who still lives in Croatia, has dealt with this and the anxiety of leaving home. And that is why this song is so relatable to myself and to a lot of other people. And that is a big part of why I think the song is so popular this year. I also love a lot of the different elements on stage that are also being carried over to the performance in Malmö. We have the background dancers who are dressed in more traditional clothes. They look like people you would just see in the countryside, which of course matches with the meaning behind the song, with the song's theme. And Baby Lasagna seems to be wearing something a little bit more traditional this time around for Malmö. I'm not super familiar with traditional clothes in Croatia, but from what I can tell, this seems pretty similar to what I've seen online of what people have worn traditionally in that country. So I like that he's bringing more cultural elements on stage, even if it's just his outfit. I really appreciate that, and I think it makes this performance feel more genuine and more unique to Croatia. And I also want to add Baby Lasagna's haircut. In the first rehearsal we saw, he had this very much like slicked back hair, and for me it looked a little bit too tacky. It looked like Jared Leto's Joker, which I wasn't a big fan of. So I'm very happy that he changed that, and now seems to be going with a much more messy, laid back look, which I think works a lot better for not only his personality, but just the song itself. I think it really reflects the fun and lighthearted nature of this song, and I am so excited to experience this live in Malmö Arena. This looks like it will be the standout of the night, and for that reason, this song is currently, for now, my official winner for ESC 2024. Now, I will say one other thing I want to add is that there was one moment in particular, all the way back when we saw this in Dora, the Croatian national final, that almost screamed to me that this song has winner potential and can win. And that moment is this one here. It was that moment when I knew, yes, this is something different, this is something special, and this is a song that I want to see getting the trophy this year. I think Croatia really deserves their first win, and this is the song to get them there. I love Baby Lasagna, I love Remtem Tagi, and I love everything that Croatia is giving us with this entry. So for me, it will get a 10 out of 10, my absolute favorite this year, and a song that I want to see taking the trophy. So with that, this has been my final top 10 before the show. I am so excited to see what each of these entries will give us in Malmö, in the live show. I'm sure they have some surprises left to give us. We always have at least 1 or 2 surprises when we see these live, so I'm very excited for that, and I personally am just so excited to be in Malmö, to experience this in the Malmö Arena, see the giant stage in person. So excited and cannot wait. So before I go, please let me know what your favorite songs are, who is your winner this year, who do you want to see taking the trophy, and also let me know what you're most excited to see in Malmö. With that, this has been my final top 10. I really appreciate all of your likes, comments, subscriptions, and support. It has been so much fun making all these videos and talking about Eurovision with all of you. Thank you so much again, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.